Welcome to my channel. My name is Liz. Today I will be demonstrating how to make an Oogie Boogie hat. You can also use the base to make a witch hat. This tutorial is geared for intermediate crocheters who know how to chain, double crochet, single crochet, and slip stitch. For this hat, I used Big Twist acrylic yarn, a 5mm hook, scissors, a needle, and pins, but you can also use bobby pins. Now that we have our materials, let's get started. To start off, make a slip knot, chain 4, and make a slip stitch into the first chain. You can also start off with a magic ring if you prefer. Then you're going to chain 2. Every chain 2 counts as a double crochet. And then make 8 more double crochets into the ring for a total of 9 double crochets. So that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and after every row, you're going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 space that you started with. Now we're ready for row 2. Chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch around for a total of 9 double crochet. I'll meet you at the end of this row. Slip stitch into that chain 2 space, and now we're ready for row 3. Chain 2, increase into the next stitch, and 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to continue to repeat increase, double crochet, increase, double crochet for a total of 13 double crochet. I will meet you at the end of this row. Slip stitch into that chain 2 space, and now we're ready for row 4. Chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch around for a total of 13 double crochet. I will meet you at the end of this row. Slip stitch into that chain 2 space, and now we're ready for row 5. Chain 2, 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and we're going to repeat increase and 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches around. We're going to continue to repeat that for a total of 17 double crochet. I will meet you at the end of this row. I'm at the end of row 5. We're going to make 1 double crochet into that last stitch and then slip stitch into the chain 2 space, and we're ready for row 6. For row 6, 7, and 8, you're going to chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 17 double crochet. You're just adding to the length. I'll meet you at the beginning of row 9. For row 9, chain 2 and repeat increase, double crochet all around for a total of 25 double crochets. I'll meet you at the end of this row. Slip stitch into that chain 2 space. And now we're ready for row 10. For row 10, 11, and 12, you're going to chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch around for a total of 25 double crochets. I'll meet you in the beginning of row 13. This is how our hat is coming along. It looks like a cone. Now let's start row 13. We're going to chain 2, increase into the next stitch, and then we're going to repeat 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches and increase. As you continue to do that, we're going to end up with a total of 33 double crochets total. I will meet you at the end of this row. Make a slip stitch into that chain 2 space, and now we're ready for row 14. For rows 14 and 15, you're going to chain 2 and make 1 double crochet into each stitch for a total of 33 double crochets. I'll meet you in the beginning of row 16. For row 16, you're going to chain 2 and then you're going to repeat increase and 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. You're going to continue to repeat that for a total of 41 double crochets. I will meet you in the beginning of row 17. For row 17, you're going to chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch around for a total of 41 double crochet. I'll meet you in the beginning of row 18. For row 18, chain 2 and you're going to repeat increase and then 1 double crochet into the next 4 stitches. Continue to repeat that. You will end up with a total of 49 double crochet. I will meet you in the beginning of row 19. For row 19, we're going to chain 2 and we're going to repeat making an increase in the next stitch and then 1 double crochet into the next 8 stitches. Continue to repeat that all around and I will meet you at the end of this row. We're at the end of row 19 and we have 3 stitches left. Into the next stitch, we're going to make 1 increase, and into the last 2 stitches, we're going to make 1 double crochet in each. At the end, we're going to have a total of 55 double crochet. Slip stitch to the top of the chain 2 and we're ready for row 20. For row 20, chain 2, increase into the next stitch and make 1 double crochet into the next 9 stitches. Continue to repeat that all around. At the end of row 20, you're going to see 3 stitches left. You're going to make 1 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 61 double crochet. Then make a slip stitch into that chain 2 space. At this point, I recommend trying on the hat and seeing if you need to make it bigger. At the current size, it would fit a small head or a child. For it to fit me, I'm going to make another row where I increase. Then I will begin the length of the hat. For row 21, chain 2, increase into the next stitch and make 1 double crochet in the next 10 stitches. Continue to repeat that all around. Once you get to the end, you're going to notice 4 stitches. You're going to make 1 double crochet in each. At the end of this row, you're going to have a total of 67 double crochet. Make a slip stitch at the top of the chain 2 space, and we are done with row 21. So I have tried it on and it fits me comfortably on my head. However, if you need yours bigger for your row 22, you're going to chain 2, increase, and double crochet in the next 11 stitches and continue to repeat that. And if you still need it bigger after that, for your row 23, you're going to chain 2, increase, and make 1 double crochet in the next 12 stitches and repeat that. Once the hat fits the top of your head, you are ready to begin the length. For row 22 to 26, chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch for a total of 67 double crochets. I stop at row 26 because that's when the hat is right above or right on top of my eyebrows, but you might need to make yours longer or shorter depending on your head. If you made your hat bigger previously, you will also make 1 double crochet in each stitch for as many rows as you need, and you'll stop when the length is right above or on top of your eyebrows. Row 27 is going to be worked in the back loop only. Start off by chaining 2, increase into the next stitch of the back loop, and then make 1 double crochet in the next stitch of the back loop. Continue to repeat that in the back loop only for row 27. I'll meet you in the beginning of row 28. For row 28, we're back to working in both loops. So chain 2, increase into the next stitch and make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Continue to repeat that increase double crochet all around for row 28. For our last row of our hat, we're going to chain 2 and make 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And that's all. I'll meet you at the very end. Once you're done with the brim, your hat should look something like this. Now we are ready to work on the eyes. So for the eyes, I usually use black, but because it's hard to see on camera, I will be using gray to show it, but make sure when you do your eyes you use black. To start our eyes, we are going to make a slip knot and chain 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and then make 8 more single crochets for a total of 9. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're going to have 2 stitches left over. In each stitch, we're going to make a slip stitch. There's 1 slip stitch, and then there's the next. We're going to turn this without chaining anything. And for row 2, we're going to make a slip stitch into the next stitch, and then make 1 single crochet for the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure if I went through both loops. 9. We're going to chain 1 and turn to finish row 2. And now we're ready for row 3. For row 3, single crochet into the next stitch, and then single crochet into the next 5 stitches for a total of 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And into the last 2 stitches, we're going to make a decrease. And that is our row 3. To finish up, we are going to chain 1 and turn. Now we're ready for row 4. For row 4, single crochet into the next stitch and single crochet into the next 4 stitches for a total of 5. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. Decrease into the last 2 stitches. We are done with row 4. All we have to do now is chain 1 and turn, and we're ready for row 5. For row 5, single crochet into the next stitch and single crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then make a decrease into the last 2 stitches. And to finish row 5, all we have to do now is chain 1 and turn. For row 6, single crochet into the next stitch and single crochet into the next 2 stitches. Make a decrease into the last 2. And to finish off row 6, all we have to do is chain 1 and turn. For row 7, make a single crochet in the next 2 stitches and a decrease in the last 2. To finish row 7, all we have to do is chain 1 and turn. For row 8, make 1 single crochet into the next stitch and a decrease in the last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. For row 9, make a decrease in the last 2 stitches. Chain 1 and turn. For row 10, just make 1 single crochet into the last stitch. And we are done with the eye. Go ahead and make another eye and leave a long tail that you will be using to sew onto the hat later. So how I determine that is really just by estimating and guessing. So I just wrap it around 2 times around the eye, and then I just snip it. And there you go. We are ready to make the mouth. To start off, make a slip knot and chain 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And then into the third stitch from the hook, make a double crochet. So that's 1, 2, 3. And then just make 1 double crochet in each stitch across. I'll meet you at the end. So I finished making my double crochets. Now I'm going to leave a long tail so I could sew it onto the hat. And once again, I just estimate and I wrap it around 2 times. And there we go. Now I'm going to make some single crochets from one side of the hat to the other side of the hat. So to do this, to make it easier for myself, I find the chain 2s from one side of the hat, and that's going to guide me. So I'm going to attach my hook to the end of the hat, and I'm just going to make a single crochet from one side all the way to the other. So I just go behind the chain 2 space, just like that, and make a single crochet. And then to the back of the next chain 2 space, another single crochet. And I'm going to do that all the way from one side to the other side of the hat. Make sure you don't make them too tight. Once you get to the top of the hat, continue to make single crochets. And then when you get to the very, very top, just insert it to the ring that you started with and make a single crochet. And then continue to go down the other side. But the other side is not going to have the chain 2 guide that we used. So just estimate in your best ability, go down as straight as you can all the way to the end. Once you get to the bottom, I'm going to make 1 more single crochet into the back of the double crochet, and then 1 more single crochet into the chain of the brim, and then I just cut off the yarn. I get questioned why I make it so short. It's because I use my hook to weave into the hat instead of a needle, which usually people do. And yeah, I just kind of make knots and do my best. So I'm going to add even more detail, and for this I'm going to need a long piece of yarn. So once again, I eyeball it, and I did not eyeball it correctly. So you're going to see in the video that I just wrap it around twice. Save yourself some time and wrap yours around 3 times. So I did it twice. Please do it 3 times. Once you have your long piece of yarn, attach it to your needle and make a little knot. And we're going to be making horizontal lines across the single crochets that we did. Starting from the inside of your hat, I am going to poke my needle through the second row towards the bottom. It's about 1 stitch from the line, from the black line. And I'm going to pull it all the way through until it's about 1 inch, and I'm going to hold the back of the string with my hand so that it doesn't get lost. And then onto the other side, approximately 1 stitch over the black line, I'm going to insert my hook and just pull the yarn through. And I'm going to be making horizontal lines all throughout the single crochets. And they don't have to be perfect. They don't all have to be the same length. Approximately, I skip 2 rows each time. And then instead of making it one stitch, I'm going to do two. You kind of just, you can have fun with it and just do whatever you want. I don't want it to look perfect. That's my opinion. Do whatever you'd like. Continue to do that. So I skip 2 rows. I insert my needle from the back and continue to make horizontal lines all the way to the top and to the other side as well. So this is where I'm at so far. I did one whole side. I did the top as well, and I made a vertical line there. And then I'm on the other side. I had to stop because my string is too short. If you remember in the beginning, I said I eyeballed it wrong. So if that happens to you, that's fine. Just detach your needle. You're going to get another long piece of string and attach your needle to it. Once it's attached, you're going to insert it from the inside of your hat to wherever you'd like, wherever you left off. So I'm going through the opposite side of where I left off, and then I'm going to pull my string until there's about 1 inch left, and I'm going to hold it to make sure I don't lose my string. And then later I'm going to tie those 2 strings from the inside together. So then I just continue again, horizontal all the way down. So now that I'm done, I am going to cut off my black yarn, and I'm going to start fastening off all of the strings to make it not look crazy. So those 2 strings from the inside, because I cut my yarn too short, I'm going to tie them together, but I think they're too far apart from each other. So I use my hook, but that hook is too big for me. So I just switched out to another hook, and I'm going to bring those strings closer together. And this is just eyeballing it once again. And then I just make 2 to 3 knots so that I think it's secure. And then I cut off the extra string. You might have to skip that if you made your string long enough from the beginning. So now for those strings, once again, yes, they are short. You might leave yours long. It's all up to your own preference. But if you cut yours short, or if you're wondering how I do it, I'm showing you. So I'm going to bring those closer together. And once they're close enough, I am going to tie a knot and then cut the extra string off. And then if it's too close to the edge like it is right now, instead of cutting it shorter, I use my hook and I bring it as close as to the inside of the hat. Like right there, I was going to cut it, but then I realized, oh, it's too close to the edge, and maybe you'll be able to see that if you wear it. So now I'm just pulling it as close to the center as I can with a short string. And then I'm going to do that same thing on the other side. Here's a quick overview of what your hat should be looking like. The base is complete. The details from the side of the hat is looking good. The inside of the hat, this is what it's looking like. Now we're ready to sew on the details. This is where I use my pins. If you don't have pins, sometimes I use bobby pins to keep it in place. So for the placement, I try to do everything asymmetrical to the best of my ability. So there's 4 stitches on each side of the mouth. So, and then if you start counting from the bottom, after those 3 rows of the brim and you count up to row 4, that's where the mouth begins. And then I just curve it And then I place the pins because if you remember, we just crocheted one straight line. So then you curve it with your hands and you pin it into place so that when you sew it in a curved way. So once again, counting after the brim, the bottom of the eye is laying on row 6, and then in the middle there's about 5 or 4 stitches in between the eyes. And then if you count to the top of the eye is on row 11. And so just estimate it as best as you can and then sew it into place. We are close to the end. The last detail we have to do is some lines going up and down from the mouth. So we're gonna need a long piece of yarn. Once again, I estimate it. Attach it to your needle. Starting from the inside of the hat, insert your needle, not all the way to the edge of the mouth, a little bit inside of it. Pull your yarn all the way through, leaving about an inch from the back, and hold it so that it doesn't fall apart. And then we're going to make vertical lines. Estimate it to your best ability of what you think looks good. Skip a couple of stitches so that we have a nice gap in between, and continue making vertical lines over the mouth to the very end. To finish it off from the inside of the hat, I'm just going to weave my way to the other piece of yarn and make a couple of knots. We are finally done. It does take some time, some blood, sweat, and tears, but after you complete it, don't you just feel so accomplished? Thank you for sticking around and watching my tutorial. I hope it was easy to comprehend, and I hope you love your hat. I would love to see it if you'd like to tag me on Instagram or TikTok. Until next time, happy Halloween!